You're listening to the UTalk Hockey Podcast with your hosts Champ and Dens. UTalk Hockey Nation, welcome back to another episode of the UTalk Hockey Podcast.
Let's go.
I'm your host Champ, this is Dens, and we got a show that's packed with a ton of stuff for you. I couldn't decide what I wanted to say, so I didn't say anything for literally 3 seconds.
Yep.
But we do got a good show. And Dens, it's just good to be back.
It's always good to be back.
Every week. You know, we weren't going to do this show. Maybe you should tell them why we were about to not do the show. At least tell them how you used a Chick-fil-A cup. Well, let's leave it at that maybe. No.
Jeez.
You got to hear at least a little bit of the story.
All right,
give the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, we were supposed to record last night. I was out in Camas, Utah, trying to actually find a place to go camping this weekend. We were out of cell service. Long story short, we were headed up a trail, and all of a sudden my engine started smoking.
And he has a nice truck, 2021 Ford F-150.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be smoking.
I mean, everyone who isn't a Ford fan would say that was your first mistake.
All right. There you go. Ford or Chevy, let us know.
Anyways, the radiator hose popped off. I lost my antifreeze.
All of it. And you need it.
And it was because the dealer forgot to clamp it back on. Anyways, but I needed water because my engine was overheating, so I had to improvise just to get back down the mountain.
This is great. Listen to this.
And so there was literally a stream like this wide on the edge of the road of snow runoff up in the Uintas. So I had a
Chick-fil-A cup, 32 ounce, 44?
I think it was 24.
Well, that's even worse.
But the stream was running so small that I could only do maybe a half a cup at a time. Anyways, so I did 10 cups of that. And it was pretty clean water, actually. Poured it down in and just trying to cool down the engine. Finally got down the mountain.
Coasted half the way.
Yeah, just turned off the car, coasted, trying to...
Didn't want to blow his engine.
Got down, got it all fixed, but called up Champ here, and when I got back to cell service, I was like, dude, I'm clear out in Camas
We
still.
can't record tonight. And we didn't think we were going to do it tonight because he was going to go camping. Well, here we are. Yep. We are recording. He decided not to camp and do a show. That
Hockey
shows how much
way
he
more
loves
important.
you. That shows how much we love you. We had to do the show. So
that's why we're here tonight.
Thanks for skipping camping to do the show.
I mean, honestly, it was
fans.
because everyone else who was supposed to go with us lost faith in my truck.
I also would have lost faith in your truck.
I took it to deal this morning. They fixed it. Did a whole new flush. There's no more pond water or whatever.
So great.
So we're good.
Oh, man, that's so good. Anyway, we got an action-packed, full of news, chirps, dishing with Dens. We got someone that we need to wish happy birthday to.
Who will it be?
It's actually a surprise. You got to stay tuned, listen up, and then we'll also have the puck of the week. So let's jump into our first segment, Off the Post. Yippee-ki-yay!
Oh my gosh.
I'm adding that one. Off the post.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yippee-ki-yay!
That was questionable. You're like, am I really going for this?
Dude, what if we're the Outlaws? Then that works.
Would they have said that?
No, not the way I said it. Let's get into our first Off the Post news item.
Yes.
It happened earlier this week. Pat McAfee, a very well-known sports analyst, talk show host, previous punter in the NFL, very outgoing and loud, right? He FaceTimes Ryan now. He
just
and them
on his show.
Yeah, they're just buddies.
First name basis.
And we know what happened on the Pat McAfee show recently where he FaceTimed Ryan Smith. And what did Ryan Smith say?
Well, he's like, Ryan, we need an update. What's going on,
yeah,
bro?
Can we get a sneak peek? What are the finalists, right?
And he said, well,
we've got our 4.
We've got our 4, which I thought 8 was supposed to go to a bracket.
Yeah, well, it's weird. I don't know. Ryan Smith sometimes when you look at Ryan Smith, Ryan, I love you, but you're like, oh, you're just overworked. I get it. But You look tired sometimes, bud.
So he says 4, which was interesting.
And then he gives 2.
He says, so Mammoth is up there. And I was like...
You know what's weird about this, though? He says, I think.
But he knows.
He knows. He knows. He's known forever. That's what I think.
I mean, he wasn't going to, like, verify anything. But he's like, yeah, I think Mammoth is up there. I think Yeti was another one. So and we're excited.
Yeah, and everybody on social then just goes, okay, it's Mammoth or Yeti. What do you do? What do you do? It's Mammoth or Yeti. Yeah. Later in the show, I'm going to ask you a question regarding this very thing. So you got to wait for it, though.
But interestingly enough, KSL Sports, they did this whole launch and survey at the same time just to see. And I think actually it's pretty decent insight. If they got a bunch of votes and they've already released the public, it was... Yeti is the number 1, I think.
At 50%.
Yeah, then Mammoth, Outlaws, and then Blizzard. And so if we were to guess the 4, I think KSL is a decent source of the public survey that they did. So we'll kind of just see how it goes. I know we really aren't going to talk about the name much because there's nothing much to do until they decide. But that was the latest news on the name. Ryan Smith gives a little hint or a drop, and He actually didn't give much.
He didn't give much, but then everybody freaks out. I was like, okay, let's get the jerseys. Yeah. Let's go.
So I actually, real quick, I'll touch on this. Dude, we already know that it's going to be Utah.
Mm-hmm. For the first
season. So can we
Utah across the jersey. Let's just get the swag.
Yeah, let's get some merch going.
Dude, absolutely.
Like, it's
not
just
NHL in Utah. Just say...
Yeah,
Utah hockey.
Like if that's already decided, like give us something to go buy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everyone's gonna go buy it. Like I'm excited to go buy it. So
go to the one hockey store in the state of Utah, literally the one.
And I think there's more than one, but
put your swag in it, and then we go buy it.
So, anyways, I think that's at least what we could do to have fun through the summer, right? Yeah. The original, Anyways.
I agree. But they probably are waiting for the color scheme and then all that stuff, right? But would they come up with the color scheme before?
That's the thing. Maybe not. So, like, just make it an authentic first year inaugural, like...
Dude, just black and white. Just do black and white.
We aren't the LA Kings here.
Good point. Okay. Don't do black and white. Scratch that.
Pink and brown. We'll get to that.
Dude, we'll get to that. All right, let's jump into our next... item off the post. Utah signs left wing Julian Lutz to a 3-year deal. Julian is getting paid just under $3 million over 3 years. He was drafted in 2022 by the Coyotes at number 43 overall, and he's been playing on and off through injuries in different realms or leagues. And actually, in his most recent one, get this, he was on a team called the Green Bay Gamblers. How do I get on that team?
That is like, that's where you need to go.
Yeah, dude, I know. And it's not because I'm a gambler. It's because
I
like hockey. No, I like hockey. What? No.
How does that tie in?
No, I know. It's really, that's the first thing. But anyway, he averaged over a point per game with 24 goals, 44 assists, in 50 regular season games. Not terrible, but...
That was in the USHL.
Right. But Lutz will likely will spend his time starting out in the AHL with the Roadrunners.
Yep.
Beep, beep, right? There's your little Roadrunner sound that I tried and failed. I was sick earlier this week, so that sound didn't really come out how I wanted it to. But he'll split time maybe even between Tempe and Tucson. So Utah fans probably won't get to see Julian Lutz.
That's a good point, yeah.
But it's exciting to know that things are starting to happen because I've been hoping for a lot more news, right?
And it's been kind of silent. Ryan's holding things to his chest right now.
Well, Ryan and GMBA, right? Bill Armstrong.
Yeah.
He probably is thinking, okay, I got to wait till at least close to draft or like, and obviously free agency and how that all plays. Like,
yeah,
there's some moves. There's a lot that we could discuss
there's
about that.
So much cap space. Right. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not as, I'm not saying that like if you don't have as much cap space that it's not hard to figure things out, but when you have so much opportunity, and I don't think, they're going to, use it all. They're not going to max it out. Anyways, it's just, I think there's a million moving parts. They're going through a lot, and that's why things are kind of a little silent. We're in the off season as well, and typically things are silent, more silent, obviously. So,
yeah, but this is a time to build.
It's true. Like 6 weeks ago, all the momentum, it feels like it's died off a little.
It has, which is,
and we're all stuck.
So we're all just talking on a name.
Social media arguments of a name that we're
exactly.
just. Yeah, I want to. Yeah.
Yeah, we
October
want
cannot
things to happen faster than they are. I think you all agree with that. Give us a like and a thumbs up if you agree with that.
Yeah.
But it really is like you can't spend it all at once. You got to give yourself money to use in the future as well. Knowing that there's going to be players that are going to be coming up on contract as well, you have to consider that.
Yeah.
It all plays a part. If any of you are wondering what is cap space, it just means that there's a certain salary that cannot be exceeded by the team.
And they have about half-ish available.
Yeah, right. So
almost.
It's a really interesting spot that Utah is in with as many picks as they have over the next year or two even, right?
Yeah.
And then all this cap space. How are they going to use it? Everyone's like, oh, just go get one big vet. Some people are saying.
And I think they might do one big one.
It's like, go.
But
go
you can't just
slower,
go get a bunch of people.
Yeah. Here's what they really need to do. They obviously need to fill a core defenseman. They need that defenseman.
Strong defensive lines
if they can
here.
At least find that.
Yeah.
I think they'll be in a good.
I think Connor Ingram would be happy.
Position. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Goalies are much happier and better when.
Hey, even in our own rookie league hockey game in the first period this last Tuesday, our goalie didn't get shot on once, and for the first period at least.
Yeah, our defense was
stellar. Second period, they started to fall apart. Third period, they scored 3
rookie
points.
Defense stellar, but
dude,
we're calling it stellar.
Listen, Caleb, my brother, if he's listening, that guy just like literally runs on the ice, and he's a defenseman, but he just weaves and bobs through anybody when he gets.
He almost had a hat trick, even as a defenseman.
He almost had a hat trick.
Anyways,
all right, let's move on to our last item of Off the Post, and it's actually something a little personal and news that you won't see a lot of right now, and it's not necessarily specific to NHL news,
but it is UTalk Hockey worthy.
It is, because it is hockey in Utah.
Yep.
Today we had the opportunity, nay, the privilege to talk and meet with Kevin McCloskey. If you don't know the name, go look him up. We have a picture of him. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to see it right now.
Yep, we'll put it.
Nice looking guy, right? He is a pleasant guy to talk to. Very kind, very funny,
fun to hang out with.
Fun to hang out with. He's a guy you'd want to go have a drink with and just shoot the breeze, right? And if you're watching YouTube as well, this photo is one he shared as well when he was 22 years old, taking a puck to the eye. This guy has played hockey his whole life. Hailing from the politician capital of the world, literally Washington, D.C., where hockey's not
before
huge.
The Capitals existed.
Before they could even spell
before
hockey
was a thing there.
Right? Kevin McCloskey's just flying through, skating like a fiend.
But we're going to have him on the show.
So we don't want to give you too much information about him as an awesome guy and what he's...
But we're going to talk about a little bit what he's doing.
But
in 77... he was drafted into pro hockey, and he played pro for 4 years. We're going to have him on the show.
It's going to be fun.
Yep.
But today, we had the privilege to visit with him at a ice rink site that is being built by him and others in Park City for the Utah Outliers. If you don't know about the Utah Outliers, I invite you to go check out their website. They are a junior premier hockey team that plays here in Utah, currently in West Valley, but is looking to relocate the team to Park City. So Kevin invited both Denz and I to the rink today, and it's under construction, so there's not a lot there. But we walked into that it's literally a concrete square right now. But there are pieces.
More than a
they're
further along.
Way
than that.
further than that. You're right. I don't give enough credit.
I'm an architect person, so I was
dude,
like,
this guy will drive by a building and he'll say, "Wow, that's a nice building."
I'll say it like that.
Well, yeah, that in Colorado, right?
Oh my gosh.
he's a little.
Anyways,
he's a little salty about that.
After last episode, I went on a research pathway of
the true
asking everyone, be like, "How do you say it?"
And how do they say it?
It was about 50-50.
Okay, so again, you might say Colorado, you might say Colorado. I just like to give Denz a hard time.
It was good. It was a good tour, though. And Kevin, shout out to you for showing us. It was super cool. It's the Black Rock Mountain Resort. It's literally being attached to it. It's going to be called the Black Rock Mountain Event Center for now. Sponsorship pending. But yeah, really cool. Junior League hockey, Utah Outliers are going to move there. I think that's a pretty good move coming from West Valley.
Yeah.
Utah.
If any of you are in West
Park
Valley,
City.
sorry, it's a little more rough over there than in Park City. I think you would agree with us. Maybe not. I don't know.
But pretty cool state-of-the-art facility that he's building for the, Kevin even said it's going to be the best in the United States for Junior League hockey. And he was showing us around the bones of this facility, I could see his vision.
Oh, absolutely. We hadn't seen any type of renderings or pictures. We were just seeing concrete poles, steel, a bunch of workers working hard.
Probably like, who are these shenanigans
Seriously,
walking around? Not Kevin. I'm sure he's there all the time.
We're not shenanigans. Who are these?
Right.
Hooligans doing shenanigans. But every time we went into a new spot of the concrete jungle, it literally was like, this is what this is going to be. And we could envision it. It was so cool. So
Kevin was an awesome visionary.
He was.
He is the GM. We missed that. He's the GM of the Outliers.
Of the Outliers. And what we wanted to highlight from that visit today, not only is his graciousness of inviting us and having us just see that before it comes to fruition. And you can bet we're going to be at the first Outliers game as soon as that thing is erected and up and it's game time in the press box, hopefully, right, Kevin? But even with all of that happening, just he told us today he's been here for 9 years, or we read
roughly,
about it, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that he's here helping bring hockey to more people in a great way, like the whole reason Denz and I got into hockey is because we experienced it in our youth, but we didn't have the chance to play. And so we didn't grow up as part of that community, but now we're part of it because we experienced it as adults and we loved it. Yeah. And you out there listening to this, if you're like us, you can start learning, you can start watching it, you can start helping the local scene be heard and watch them and support them. You can go to junior hockey league events and support those players. And what's exciting is if any of those players show up, play super well, they can be prospects in the NHL draft someday, right? Like, that's a possibility. And so to be able to see Utah homegrown players,
that's what I want to see. Is like, I want to, in 10 years from now, we're going to have the story of having a member of our NHL team here in Utah that grew up playing hockey, played on the Utah Outliers, went up collegiate athlete, University of Utah. Maybe BYU finally brings their team back.
We'll see.
I think in the next 10 years, why wouldn't they? If the community is going to be built, more high schools are going to have their own teams instead of just clubs that are regional. Like, this sport is going to grow. So, Kevin, a huge shout out to you for what you're doing for Utah and building the sport in Utah, building the economy in Utah. The whole network of the sporting world literally will lift the entire community beyond just the sport as a whole. I believe sports is a great thing for all kids to get involved in. A sport, an instrument, right? Exploring their passions, what they find and love. And I think I'm a little biased on hockey, but these type of people that exist out there, the Kevins of the world that are willing to invest and grow a sport in an area, creates dreams for kids that they didn't even realize was a dream. And that's pretty cool.
And that is what we're going to end on for Off the Post. Great ending. Good job. And thank you, Kevin, again. Yes, really appreciate it. We're going to jump into Chirpin' with Champ.
Salty time.
Chirpin' with Champ. Salty time. Yeah.
Chirpin' with Champ. Salty time.
Okay. You guys and girls out there, you all remember Ian, hockey expert.
From last episode?
30 years of expertise, and he called us pretenders. Well, he called the
people
general...
like us pretenders.
People like us pretenders, right? For the first chirp of the day, we got to go to a guy named Trenton. Trenton came to our rescue. Of course, Ian deleted our post, right? Or the comment. That we said, you know what? You got to be nicer than that, right? We tried to do it with grace. He deleted it, didn't like it. Here's what Trenton had to say to...
Who wouldn't have seen our
post
comment
anyway, right? And maybe he saw our show, doubt it, but maybe he saw it. And Trenton says this to that post that said we were the pretenders. It's not about posting about our podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Says this: so much for trying to get hockey spread as much as possible, but letting all those excited about the team and sport spread the message. Nice little dictator we have here. No need to support this guy's group with an attitude like this. Trenton, I tip my hat to you, sir. Salute you. Thank you for your support.
Here's the question. Was Trenton's comment deleted?
I did not look. I meant to look, but I haven't looked. Trenton, anyways, if you're listening, thank you.
Thanks for chirping back as well.
Yes, that was perfectly executed by you. All right, I got another one here. Okay, so obviously things have slowed down on basically anything Utah hockey related news besides the name, because Ryan Smith appeared on FaceTime on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And everyone's still talking about the name, right? And somebody made a post about the Outlaws, and then somebody else chirped and said, no, it needs to be about Utah. Outlaws doesn't have anything to do with Utah. And then, some people then said, well, yes, we got...
They don't know history.
They don't know history. And it's like, obviously people know different things. So let's forget about that for a second. But there's a guy named Ryan Slack out there who posted to the comment of, oh, well, it has to be tied to Utah. I thought this was a pretty good chirp, which is why I'm bringing it up now. He says this to the person that stated that: are there an abundance of penguins in Pittsburgh? Does Tampa Bay get hit by lightning all the time?
I mean, that one seems more legit.
Okay.
But
what's funny is there was someone who commented right after that and said, well, there is a lot of lightning in Tampa Bay. And
all right,
then
set
he's
that
like,
one aside.
Well, and he did say, thank you for that.
Chirped it back at him.
That's fine. You're right. But then he said, is there a king that rules in LA? That was, and then he said, finally, how about all those Rangers walking around New York? Right? It's a name. It doesn't have to be a Utah thing.
That's
right?
good. That's good.
I thought that was funny. Ryan Slack chirping back at the fact that it doesn't have to be Utah. And again, we've said it before, we'll say it again. Regardless of the name, regardless of the colors, we're going to cheer for them, right? We're going to cheer 100%. For them. It's a professional hockey team finally in Utah, and we're excited about it. So I just thought it was so funny. My favorite one was, are there an abundance of penguins in Pittsburgh?
It's funny because we talked about this last episode.
Last time.
That's perfect.
Right. Okay. Final one, and then I'm going to present to you another red pill, blue pill question. Yeah, dude. Surprise. Okay, the last one, again, a naming post. Someone posted that, it should be Yeti. Like, that was the post, right? And Tristan Nelson, out of nowhere, says this: This team has been cursed since it was in Winnipeg. What? What? Why do you even mention that if we're talking about the name? Anyway, I thought it was interesting. So here's a fun fact. The Winnipeg Jets, the first time around, left Winnipeg in 1972.
Or established in 1972.
Right.
Left in
the 90s.
Yeah.
Left in the 90s, right? And they became the Phoenix Coyotes. Then in 2024, the Arizona Coyotes became the Utah Hockey Team, which is yet to be named officially. And then there were the Jets that came back from where?
Oh, I just lost
Atlanta.
Yes. Sorry, back up real quick. So what he didn't say is where is this curse coming from was I'd say if you look at the history of the movement of that franchise from one to the next, doesn't have the strongest track record of winning.
Not a strong track record. So, yeah, it's not good. But is that a curse? I mean,
yeah.
I don't think so. I think you're overdoing it a little bit. I think you're a little salty. It's been a long time since they've been the Winnipeg Jets the first time around.
40 years.
So, Tristan.
New opportunity, new chance. Let's go.
New team. Let's go. The curse
has been lifted.
Is lifted. All right. To end.
Now, I'm curious. What is this red pill, blue pill?
All right.
I can't wait.
To end Chirping with Champ. This is something I'm just doing now. Just because I can. And, you know.
Always makes me think. I'm ready.
Chirp back at me, Adam and Ian. The two guys. You know who you are. Okay. Red pill versus blue pill. Last time it was very like, oh man, do you want to be famous, like really build your name and take $1 million, or not be famous and be really crappy but get $10 million a year?
Right.
Everybody took the red pill. This one is not the red pill's the right one. This one feels like, what would you do? Oh no. It could be either way, right? So
would you rather?
It's a would you rather more so, right?
All right, I'm ready.
Because there's not one right or wrong answer. It really is just what tickles your fancy.
Okay, here we go.
Red pill. The team name becomes the Yetis.
Nope, I'm already going blue pill.
Hey, no, let me finish. Because this will maybe change your sway.
Okay.
The team name is the Yetis, and I'll make it plural. All right? All you people chirping about the fact that, it needs to be. It does, I agree. But Yetis, but is very cartoonish. A cartoonish Yeti. Do you remember is it the Christmas Story? The claymation, really? No, paper.
That's the Abominable Snowman. I thought of True, the Netflix TV series that my daughter watches.
Yeah.
It's
there you go.
so kiddish. All right.
Anyway,
that's terrible.
But wait.
I'm not red pill.
Right. Very cartoonish and happy, smiley Yeti. That's your mascot. Okay? That's red pill. Blue pill. The team is Mammoths. Shh, don't even say it. Shh. The team is Mammoths, but the jersey combo is pink and brown. Red pill or blue pill? What do you do? There's been so many people out there saying it's got to be Yeti. So many people saying, but along with us, it's got to be Mammoth. But now there's these little things.
Well, hold on. That's just color. You don't define a color. You could choose, I can see it in my head. I should ask AI to illustrate it.
If you find it, put it on the show.
Okay, so here's what I think. I'm going to go blue pill because anything kiddish or childish and, does not scream beastly and, serious of a team. I would go blue pill because you could still have an epic Mammoth, brown and pink.
But pink? A pink?
T-Mobile pulls it off.
And then the branding is T-Mobile. Or the sponsorship is T-Mobile. Oh, wait, it wouldn't be because the Vegas Golden
So brown and pink, by no means would I ever choose those colors. But I still think if the main jersey was black and it had this is what I'm seeing. If I see black, but then it has a good brown to and a pink hue or outline, because you could go a copper level rose gold type pink that looks kind of coppery, kind of pinkish.
I do like rose gold.
like doing that with black and brown. I don't know. Dude, I'm gonna try this in like ChatGPT AI. I would go blue pill because I still think it wouldn't be my first pick, but I still think it would be way better than a childish Yeti.
I agree. I would take the red pill. Or sorry,
no,
time. I'd take the blue pill in a heartbeat because I'm sorry, it just can't be Yeti, and it definitely can't be a cartoon.
Blue pills all the way today.
But we want to hear what you would pick.
I'm gonna put in an AI illustrated of what both these options would look like.
Absolutely, you should.
Okay.
And that concludes Chirping with Champ, and now we'll dive into Dishing with Dens.
Let's do it.
Dishing with Dens. Yeah, I love those moments where we're like, okay, who's gonna say what? You right. Go. It's your segment.
So
I'm gonna take a drink of water.
All right. So we mentioned earlier. So this is May 30th. So we're gonna launch this tomorrow, May 31st, which is somebody's birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy. Who is it?
Whose birthday is it?
I do know. Of course I talked about this before we started.
Our head coach
of the NHL Utah hockey team,
Andre Tourigny.
But really,
Bear.
Rawr.
We'll get to why his nickname is that in a second.
Happy birthday, though.
Dude, 50 years old today.
50. You know, I'm curious if he's in Utah. Maybe we can find him, give him some cake.
Send him a
salmon. He's a bear. No.
That's good.
Maybe a cake. I don't know.
Maybe
a cake shaped
an edible arrangement. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, that's very classy of you. But after going to Black Rock Mountain Resort, I felt very high end over there.
It is a very nice
resort.
Definitely,
I would recommend it to you.
I immediately, as I came home, I was like, I actually haven't been here, and you know, I'm gonna check out some rooms and bring my wife up.
I told my wife, I was like, we got to go there.
Yeah,
the players' room downstairs. There was like billiards and ping pong and like
the
7
lounge,
TVs.
Yeah.
Shoot,
cool. Maybe we host a draft party there.
Oh, Kevin,
let's do it.
Let's host a draft party there, dude. How much will that cost? Let us know.
June 28th. Friday.
That's actually a genius idea. This place is epic. I'm sure it costs us a fortune. But, what if we start a GoFundMe? We start a GoFundMe to help us fund a draft party that we're trying to host. Listen, we're just like you, folks. We're just a bunch of guys. We just want to get together. We want to get together. We're not rich. We're just trying to make ends meet, you know?
So back to Andre.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Bear. So.
Oh, my gosh. That sounded so good. I'm glad we got that on camera. Happy birthday, Bear.
So let's first talk about this whole Bear thing. So back up, Andre's been into coaching and hockey for years, and from Canada, and I didn't actually find out exactly when this happened, but he has really big like bear type hands, and he gave like this big huge bear hug, and the head coach at that time had mentioned that just like started calling him Bear, and it just kind of
stuck
from there. And he even said in an interview when he first showed up to Utah, he's like, you ask anyone in Western Canada, you know, who's Andre Tourigny, and
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. But you're like, who's Bear?
Bear is the guy that is Bear on it.
Anyway, so Bear is our coach. Now let's talk a little bit about our coach Bear. Ben, he just re-signed another 3-year extension in the beginning of this last season, goes through 26. And it's interesting. So there's a lot of things online. Those of you very familiar with the hockey world, like the head coaching position is a very unforgiving type of world, like so cutthroat kind of. You don't perform, you don't last, get out of here.
I mean, and that's any coach, quite frankly.
Sure.
If you suck, you're going to go. It's not like Andre did amazing work. Obviously, they didn't hit the playoffs once with him.
Yeah, so 3 years in a
but
row.
He just got re-signed.
Yeah.
Before. Oh, by the way, it was before Utah became the team.
Before the whole transition.
So he was
under
re-signed.
contract.
Yeah, under contract on the Arizona Coyotes, and then the move happens.
So
right?
It's interesting because there's a lot of takes online. Maybe not the most successful, at least at a pro level. He was with the Colorado.
Yeah, dude. Thank
Avalanche
you. Nice.
as an assistant coach. Went over to the Ottawa Senators, and unfortunately he was fired. So, kind of the speculation coming in, he comes in. Everyone kind of has low expectations from him coming into the Arizona Coyotes, right? We're forgiving in the beginning, but we signed this 3 years extension, and a lot of people are asking, like, well, why? We're 3 years into something that hasn't been built up to anything amazing, or they haven't been close to a playoff run in 3 years. I'm all about like second chances, but Champ, I'm curious on your take. 3 years, not a lot of momentum. You know, we're going to have him for through the end of the 26th season. Like, what's the opportunity at hand? Will things change? Could we say maybe it was the placement of ownership in the Arizona Coyotes that, you know, this is a new team, new environment, more funding being taken care of? Will something change?
That's a good question. What I think about actually is how what we do in business, right? Even in business in general, when you have to have someone leading other people, there are so many factors that play into their success, right? Coaching and leadership and training and knowledge and chemistry and empathy, and like there's so many qualities that are required by a coach or a leader in general, right? And so from a business standpoint, that's where my mind goes, because that's my experience, right?
Right.
And if 3 years went by for an employee that's leading other people and we saw mediocre results, my first take at it would be, I want to understand why that might be. And I think there are factors outside of Bears' control to fully make things work, right? So instead of saying it's all your fault, it's, hey, help me understand why we didn't work well here. Let me help you get pieces that will help you be more successful. And then we continue to work at it. So that's my take, is it's a new team, not a new team. Sorry, it's the same team.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a new feel. It's going to be a new way to look at things, new locations, new ownership group, but the same core
that he's been
that
building.
He has been working with already. So I actually like them keeping him there.
Sure.
I'm curious for your thoughts.
I mean, you know this about me. Like, I have to see momentum.
Yeah. Caden's a needle guy. If the needle's not moving, good luck.
It sounds so cutthroat.
Well, it is kind of cutthroat. But I mean, I'm surprised I'm still in a job, quite frankly.
Not the case. So here's the deal. When I think of growing a business, I don't expect people to be perfect overnight, but I have to see momentum. And I'll be the first to admit, obviously, I don't know the entire history with Bear and how that came to be. Obviously, in my mind, you wouldn't sign another 3-year extension if you didn't see momentum. And if you look at the last 3 seasons, I think the Coyotes did have momentum. And I think being able to ride that momentum, there was a lot of promise. Obviously, Bear is not alone. You have GMBA. Running the show. And, you know, I do think the young pool of talent is being developed. And so because of the situation we're in with the players, most of them being young, you have to let that build, right? Time just has to go by. Experience has to develop. So I think Bear is still in the right speed.
Oh, jeez. The white speed.
I know. Sneezing. Here we go. I still think he's in the right seat. And again, I think the energy of I guess you would call it a rebrand, the energy of the new brand, the team,
new location, new ownership.
I think you capitalize on that energy, a new crowd. And I think that does fuel into the energy of the team getting better, which will aid Bear in his ability to lead. And as far as I could tell in research and what the players had to say about him, a lot of people think he is an incredible coach, that he knows how to build a great culture. And when I go back to thinking about when I'm building organizations, and that's the momentum. When I think about my role, I think of the momentum of the team, the culture of the team gives me that belief that progress will come to that outcome that we're striving for. And we're going to see those milestones along the way. I think the Arizona Coyotes saw that, which is why they signed a 3-year extension for Bear. And I think we get to be the beneficiaries as Utah, seeing this rebuild continue. I think the momentum's in place. Obviously, only time is going to tell. But I'm excited to see that momentum continue. And I think we're going to capitalize on him being here and sign another extension.
Whoa.
Because in 3 years, we're going to be a playoff team consistently. Yeah?
Dude, and Bear, if you do that, if you get this team to the playoffs in the next 3 years, I will buy one of those Bear hats and wear it in your honor.
You know what Bear should do is get in the Utah Jazz mascot costume.
Huh. I know a guy, Ryan Smith.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know Ryan at all. Not at all.
But there's a Bear mascot costume you could.
That's true.
That'd be kind of funny, actually.
That would actually be quite funny.
Can you imagine during halftime at a Jazz game, hat comes off.
Oh.
And it's Andre. It's Bear.
First off, that wouldn't happen. Second of all, Adam would be furious. You can't mix the Jazz with hockey, okay? That's a no-no. I've learned that the hard way.
That was great.
All right?
That's funny.
But that concludes our episode of the UTalk Hockey Podcast today, episode 7. But there is one final thing we got to do before it's concluded. And that is
Puck of the Week.
Puck of the Week. Hey-oh. Okay. Puck of the Week. If you haven't heard, this is just a little award that we give to the folks that are being positive and being nice to us on social media by following, subscribing, and then commenting. Obviously, we have our opinions. Obviously, we're just a bunch of guys, that are trying to just spread good cheer and hockey news. And there's some people just like us that are cheering us on. So thank you. The person I'm actually giving this out to is Ty Reiser, who is actually my nephew. He's listened to every episode.
Biased.
I know, but he's listened to every episode. And sometimes to get someone to listen to a podcast in general is hard. But Ty had said on one of our episodes 6 days ago, keep up the great content. I would take the red pill. That was the
not today's
$1 million be famous, right?
Yep.
Not the red pill today. No one wants that. Yeti cartoon, get it out of here. And then let's go Utah hockey. See? That's the and there's your puck of the week. That is the kind of stuff we love. So
that was about the level of my puck handling on Tuesday night's game. Unfortunately, it was a struggle.
And then he ate a Beto's burrito, and it didn't turn out well. But this episode did. So thanks so much for listening. I'm your host, Champ.
Dens, and thank you for watching the UTalk Hockey Podcast. We love you, Utah Hockey Nation. Over and out.
Over and out.